What is up, everybody? Today is a shoe day. We have a shoe today from one of the most prolific receivers in the NFL today, and also one of the most controversial, Odell Beckham Jr., also known as OBJ. And OBJ and Nike are releasing a plethora of random releases. Some people like, others not so much. And I'd say that most of them end up sitting on shelves and have no resale value, which is not a reason to buy a shoe, but it shows that his star power or the collaborations that he's making don't have that much pull when it comes down to hypiness. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the review of the Nike CC3 OBJ FK. Obviously, OBJ stands for Odell Beckham Jr., FK stands for Flyknit. No idea what the CC3 stands for, but this is one of the Joyride-based pods and soles. So let's start with upper like we always do. You have a Flyknit upper done in, I really do like the upper here. It's super stretchy. It's one piece, so it's definitely just a slip-on shoe. It's very thick compared to some of the Flyknit that I've seen recently, so it's pretty good. The color is kind of a platinum-y color in a grayish color with very subtle hints of green on the underside. You can't really see it unless you see really closely into the shoe itself. So hopefully you'll be able to see those subtle hints of green that's throughout the knit. There's obviously stretchy areas and less stretchy areas for reinforcement purposes, but overall, I'd say the upper is super tight. But I'll get into that in a little bit. From an aesthetics perspective, you have these kind of, I don't know what to call them. They're kind of like fuse-like, but they're a little thicker than fuse. I feel like there's something in there, and then they fuse it on top, and they have these little dimples inside of it. You have a Nike symbol on the very front over here, and that really rounds out the upper, except for this, which is a little kind of button thing that you can detach and attach this onto. Personally, I probably prefer the shoe without that. It doesn't really do anything. It's only aesthetically there. The box also comes with this over here. In terms of what it says on the actual, designed around exact specifications of wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. And then on this green one, it says OBJ, and it says best after 5/19/14, which I believe is the day that he got drafted. It talks about Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is where he's from. And it just says that over and over. So kind of cool to have kind of his own aesthetic into the shoe itself, but for the most part, not something I love. Then you have a hard rubber piece over here, and then in the back you have this random, I actually don't know why it's there. I kind of wish I don't know, like I like the color pop, but I have no idea what it's for. But you have the stitching over here done in teal, and then in the back you have a translucent green heel cup with a suede overlay in the back over here, and finally a black pull tab. Going on to the sole of the shoe, you have your Joyride. So you see the beads here are done in a green and black to match the rest of the shoe. You have a translucent sole on the bottom over here as well, just so you can see the beads that are in there. For those that don't know, these are thousands and thousands of beads in the shoe itself. And I actually have a review of the original Joyride, and I can link that in the description below. And you can also see it and hit this link over here. But for the most part, I don't love Joyride technology, and so I actually wore this to give it a second chance, and still as disappointed. There's just something about the shoe that I don't love. It feels like you're walking on beanbags, which is obviously what it's supposed to be doing, but it's not something that I absolutely need or love, and it just doesn't feel quite right. Overall, my thoughts on the shoe are pretty simple. I don't love the upper, but I really like the Flyknit. I kind of wish that these elements where the raised up fuse with the dimples in it didn't exist. I think it would have made a much cleaner shoe. This part over here is probably for stability reasons, but once again, I feel like it looks funky, and I definitely don't really love the snap-on, snap-off thing. Actually, might as well just show you what it looks like with the orange. So this is what it looks like with the orange one. If I were to wear them, I probably would keep one orange and one green just to make it a little cooler, but for the most part, not a huge deal, and obviously whatever color you would like is one you should go with. From a comfort level perspective, I think they're okay. They're super soft. They're actually not, that's not true. I'm gonna take that back. I don't love the Joyride technology. I'm not gonna own a shoe with the Joyride technology. I gave this a second chance, and love them still, and so I think these are going back. They're just too soft for my feet. They also they feel like you're walking on bean bags, which is yeah. Who wants to walk on bean bags? But I do know some people that love the shoe, so don't get me wrong, this is a personal preference, but if you love the shoe, leave in the comments below, tell everybody why, because in my opinion, is not all that matters. From a sizing perspective, I went true to size, and I would say that if you are going to get a pair, I would go half size up. I'm not sure if the knit's going to loosen up a bit. It usually does, but it felt really tight on my foot, and I probably would have gone a half size up just to have that little bit of space that I want, but for the most part, length is okay. So if you don't have a wide foot and you have a narrow foot, I would go true to size. If you have a wider foot, slightly wide to a wider foot, go half size up. And that's it, guys. If you have any questions about the OBJ, really the CC3 OBJ FK, leave in the comments below. Until next time, peace.